You may not like to watch UFC prelims. I understand. I used to be a guy who just would watch the main card of UFC, especially when I was first getting into the sport, but I ask you, if you click on this video and you do not watch UFC prelims, just hear me out, and then afterwards I would love to talk to you down below. We're going to talk about UFC prelims in just a second. Before we do though, I do want to say hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's chat for a second. So, okay. The whole reason I wanted to make this video is because I was one of those people who, and there's nothing wrong with it, okay? I was such a big UFC fan. I've been a UFC fan for well over a decade now. A really, really hardcore fan. But then I started watching all of the prelims on the card, and it just completely changed my mind. I used to just be like, okay, well, off the top of my head, it'd be like a card, oh, I want to watch Poirier fight. I want to watch all the big name fights. So nobody's on the prelims. I'm just going to watch the main card. And my dad would always watch the prelims and be like, hey, these are pretty good. You should check out the prelims. So actually, it happened at work when I had a job where I was a night shift on a night shift for a little while, and there was a lot of downtime. So what I would do is I would turn on some UFC prelims because, again, nothing better to do. And then I understood, first of all, the biggest reason why I think you guys should watch the UFC prelims is these fighters are way hungrier than so many guys in the main card because they have something to prove, they have more money to make, and oftentimes the fights are honestly much more exciting. I have a UFC chat with some of my friends who will pretty much only watch the main card and watch cards that they're really interested in. And they'll come in the chat and be like, hey, did the main card start yet? Who do you guys think's going to win? And I'm like, dude, you just missed some insane stuff that happened on the prelims. So that's just one reason. The prelims are oftentimes more exciting. But here's the biggest reason. I can't remember I don't even know how long it's been since I'm watching the prelims now. I've known like every fighter in the UFC now at this point. It's been that long since I've been watching the prelims. I get just excited for some of these prelim fights as I would for a main event. If you're an MMA fan, if you're a UFC fan, I don't understand why you wouldn't want that. I look forward to pretty much every single fight. Of course, not everyone, but there are so many points in the night when I'm watching a UFC card that I'm like, oh man, I'm ready to watch this one. You get to build a relationship with these fighters like you do with these guys on the main event, like your guys like the Conor McGregors, your guys like the Israel Adesanyas. You get that same feeling, that same like butterflies in your stomach when you watch these dudes fight because you've been watching them for so long. The reason that you've grown an attachment and get excited for these guys to watch, like Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington, is because you just keep watching them. If you were to keep watching the prelims, you would have that same feeling. But instead, now, when I watch UFC cards, early prelims, main card, instead of just having 5 fights, you got like 12 to 15. And you get excited for pretty much all of them. Again, you get the same relationship that you build with these main event guys as you do for the prelim fighters. All it takes is just to watch it. I mean, it does take a little bit to get into it, but if you're an MMA fan, you got to check out the fights anyways because they're just fun to watch. These guys, like I said, they're way hungrier. And it's really cool. You can watch these guys really build themselves up and get into top contention instead of, oh, well, this Jared Cannonier is fighting this nobody. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. You don't have that feeling. You go, oh man. Like for example, I'm excited to see Blake Builder fight. I'm excited for that. Who knows who Blake Builder is? Nobody. And I've been like, dude, this guy, you gotta watch him. He's so sick. And the same with like Mike Malott. So many guys on this next card, and there are so many UFC cards that the casual fans and people around me, they go, hey, wow, this card sucks. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, this card is fantastic. You just gotta get to know the fighters. These guys on the prelims have so much to prove, and they fight their hearts out. Some of the best fights you'll ever see on the prelims. If you are an MMA fan and a UFC fan and you don't watch the prelims, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to even give it a shot. If you're spending a Saturday watching fights, why not spend a few more hours? Because it's just as exciting. I just don't understand. But then again, I kind of understand because I used to have that mentality where it's like, I'll just watch the main card, but I never really knew why. You know, I'm such a big fan of MMA. I participated in martial arts since I was a lot younger. I don't know why I didn't watch it. And I don't know why people don't watch it, you know? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't click in my brain. But the fights being exciting and you getting an attachment with more fighters isn't just the only reasons. It really helps you if you're into UFC betting. You're watching these guys come up, you're learning their skill sets. It's not like you're going in blind where it's like, oh my God, well, Dustin Poirier is going to fight this no-name guy. He's probably going to win. But then you, as somebody who watches the prelims and somebody who watches a contender series, has been watching these guys come up. And it's like, no, I don't know. This dude's a pretty good matchup for Dustin Poirier. Throw some straight shots. He could probably get around the guard. And then oftentimes you can get around the betting lines For example, Damon Blackshear. Been following that dude forever. I was so sure that he was going to win last weekend. Prime example. It's stuff like that happens all the time. Where it's like I've been watching guys go back and watch tape where it's like I understand like not everyone's going to go back and watch tape. I just do that because of betting. I like to make money with betting, so I go back and watch fights. But you can watch these guys on the prelims. Now nobody's still going to know who Damon Blackshear is until he gets in a main card slot or has an insane mic moment. You know what I mean? So, but people are still going to underestimate him. I'm still going to bet on him, but there are so many fighters like that. Whether it's a betting perspective or if you're just a UFC fan, the prelims are something that is just such a treat. I love having cards every single weekend, and people are constantly like, wow, another card that absolutely sucks. The only time where I agree is like UFC 289 with Amanda Nunes as a main event. Like, I think you should have like the biggest high-level profile fight that you can get on a main event, not Amanda Nunes. You know what I mean? Charles Oliveira, Beneil Dariush. Main event, please. You know, I'm with you guys in the main card. I love the main cards. I still get really hyped for this, but I get just as hyped for stuff that goes on in the early prelims. If you are a UFC and MMA fan, I don't understand why you're missing out. All I ask you is just to watch it for a little bit. You guys there are oftentimes more exciting fights on the prelims than there is a main card, and the main card is just a complete bust. And then I come out happy because I had an awesome time watching the fights. So I just ask that you give it a chance. So I want to talk to you guys down below today. If you are someone that doesn't watch the prelims and you made it this far in the video, I thank you for watching the video, by the way. Let me know what you think down below. Do you not like watching the prelims? Why don't you watch the prelims? Just talk to me down below. And of course, like, I'm not saying like it's wrong to just watch a main card. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Most of my friends just watch a main card. That's awesome. Like, I'm just glad they're UFC fans. It's cool. They're getting no more views. You know what I mean? And I understand it's a big ask. But then I'm thinking out from the other side. If you're already going to spend your Saturday night watching UFC, why not put a few more hours on it and just entertain yourself? But again, I'll leave it up to you guys. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, because am I alone in this thinking? Do you guys watch the prelims? Let me know what you think, guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you are new here and you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the like button to help out the channel a ton, and subscribe if you are brand new. If you want to keep watching the Clenbat channel, 2 videos on the screen right here. Check them out, guys. I will see you there or in the next video. Take care.